If you're putting out all of your content that looks like you shot it selfie style in your car during the lunch break, and you know who you are,
no judgment,
the algorithm is burying it. Not because the message isn't good, funny, or important, but because the platform has decided your content isn't going to keep people watching that big screen. Whether your content gets seen or buried is increasingly tied to quality. And we're going to break that down and what that means and what you can actually do about it. Change the Reel with Monique Velasquez
and Piper Kessler.
For more than 20 years, we've worked in video production behind the scenes, helping mission-driven organizations and leaders turn complex ideas into content that actually moves people.
We've seen how media can either reinforce tired narratives or challenge them.
This podcast exists for leaders who know their stories matter and are ready to stop guessing and start using video strategically to further their mission, not just fill a content calendar.
Each month, we drop 2 types of episodes.
One with Piper and I kicking it, sharing production insights from our own work,
and another featuring real stories with leaders who use media to create change
and as a tool for connection. This is Change the Reel. Representation starts here.
Hey, y'all.
I'm Monique Velasquez.
And I'm Piper Kessler. Okay, so I gotta tell you something.
Okay.
That drives me absolutely crazy.
Oh yeah, what's that?
There's this creator I follow. I love their content, and I'm looking for it. Anything they put out, it really is very insightful. But I can't make it through a lot of their videos.
What's keeping you from getting through the video?
It's the audio.
Huh.
The host is talking, it's really low, I have to turn it up. Then the guest comes on, who is virtual, and they're perfect. So now it's really loud because I've turned up to hear the host. Right. I turned it down, and now all of a sudden the host is talking again. I've turned up. It makes me insane, especially if they're both talking, trying to talk over each other. And I know it's a tech snafu, I know what's causing it, but I really want to listen to what they're talking about.
Gotcha. So that's the thing. People think content is the driver, the king, and it is, but if your audience actually can't get through the content without feeling uncomfortable mentally and physically,
right,
what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel bad because I know they're putting in a lot of work to get this content out, but I just can't. And I start the episode and then I bail halfway through because it's just too frustrating.
Right. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Why video quality actually matters. Quality that focuses not just on looking professional,
right,
but for keeping people watching the content.
And here's the thing, as the viewer, the platforms are making decisions for you in what you are served up.
Okay.
It's not based anymore on how many subscribers or the number of views on a video. The algorithm is now changing.
Okay, so whether your content gets seen or buried is increasingly tied to quality. And we're going to break that down and what that means and what you can actually do about it.
So
let's start with the baseline definition. When we say high quality video, what are we actually talking about?
Right. Because I think when people hear high quality, immediately they think, I've got to buy an expensive camera or expensive equipment. Or they think Mr. Beast level production cost.
That is not what we're saying here. That's not what we're talking about, high quality.
Yeah, not at all. High quality really comes down to video resolution.
Like compression.
Audio quality.
Is it intelligible?
Lighting.
Is the image lit, balanced, and natural-ish?
And editing.
Is it repetitive, too fast, too slow? Does it make sense?
The time you put in, the effort that you're putting in for the content itself. people have been in the past just going with it. They just get on to record something. But you've got to spend also quality time on your content.
Right. Is it planned, or even just a little bit? So let's break these down. Video resolution. This is basically how clear and sharp your image is. We're talking 1080p minimum these days, and that's regular old HD. Some people say it should ideally be 4K.
Mm-hmm.
Resolution on any compression on any resolution is also important. It can be blocky or stuttery patches of the picture that can be distracting. And when that happens, it's because the compression is too heavy, too much compression. Think of compression like taking 12 ounces of water and putting it into an 8-ounce cup.
Okay.
All right, so that's basically what you're doing when you compress. Will you miss the 4 ounces, or will it be enough to quench your thirst and not notice that it's missing?
And I want to say before anybody panics, yes, phones can shoot 4K now. So that is not the barrier it used to be. But sometimes phones don't always do audio so well.
That's true. Audio is the thing people will forgive if it's good.
And the picture's bad.
And the picture is bad. But they will not forgive bad audio with good picture.
Right. Look at early YouTube. People watched grainy webcam videos all day long. But if the audio was trash, they were gone. They bounced. And that hasn't changed. And if anything, I think they're bouncing faster than they used to.
There's actually research on this. A study from the University of Southern California found that viewers are more likely to stop watching a video with poor audio quality than poor video quality, because our brains are doing too much work to process bad audio. It's literally exhausting to listen to bad audio.
And for some of us that are auditory, it gives us headaches. And so when we talk about audio quality, we mean clear dialogue, consistent volume levels, minimal background noise, and no echo or reverb unless it's intentional.
Let's add a little bit more about this consistent volume,
Okay.
right?
All
So we have the capacity here to understand consistent volume as in I'm speaking and you're speaking. Go ahead and say
Right.
something. Hello, Piper.
Hello, Monique.
And then I have an inconsistent because I'm taking low.
And I suddenly get really excited and talk really loud.
Right, so that is an inconsistent volume level, right? There's that.
Right. You wouldn't accept it in a conversation in person.
Right, and we see this quite often when we have speakers and then we have a question from the back of the room and there's no microphone back there and you can barely hear the question off camera. And then when they ask the speaker to repeat the question, you are literally changing the proximity of the sound of the question from the back of the room to the front of the room because the person who repeats it is way closer to the microphone. So you're going to hear me say proximity. Proximity is a thing that we know you need to have the sound closer to the microphone. Okay.
Be aware.
Be aware. Which brings us to lighting. Lighting is what separates I recorded this in my kitchen from this looks good, professional. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Good lighting means your subject is well lit, the exposure is consistent, and you're not fighting with harsh shadows or that weird overhead fluorescent look where you can't see people's eyeballs.
Right. And natural light from a window can work. And I know you hate them, Monique, but a ring light can work also. You don't need a full-scale studio light setup.
No, but you do need to be intentional about it.
Okay. And now we go to editing.
Yay! This is where a lot of DIY content falls apart. Not because the editing is simple, but because it's just sloppy.
Jump cuts that they can be jarring, audio that doesn't match between clips, random zooms that don't serve a purpose. And I will say, they are saying that jump cuts, which are ubiquitous across all social media, have been for a while now, they are saying you probably are not going to get away with that anymore with the desire for a higher quality.
So what about zooms and stuff like that? So, we want to make sure that our professional editing, it's not that you have fancy transitions like the falling sheep, like we used to have way back in the early 2000s, and it was not even a TriCaster.
Oh, we're old ladies.
Yeah, we are. So it doesn't mean fancy transition. It means invisible changes from shot to shot, smooth pacing, no long lags in responses or reactions, clean cuts, or letting repeated topics or phrases or words stick around in the final edit, making sure everything needs to serve the story.
Right.
And so let me just, the example that I had was, having a loud explosion, and then you have the reaction. That would be bad editing.
So when we say high quality, we're really saying, can people see you clearly? Can they hear you clearly?
If they could see you clearly, too.
Me. Can they hear you clearly? Does it look intentional? And does it flow well?
Okay. Does it make sense? And does it have few picture and sound distractions? That's it. That's the bar. Good quality.
So let's talk about why this matters now more than it did in the recent past.
So something's changed in how people consume content, or has it?
So YouTube reported that over 50% of watch time now happens on TV screens, not phones. YouTube videos being watched now on TV screens, not laptops, not the phone.
That's amazing, right? You've got these big monster images that you see in your grandparents or maybe your parents' house that are just these monster things sitting on consoles or maybe on the wall, and they're 55, 65, 75 inches, right? So that's a big screen. That blows my mind. When I first heard this,
I was like, really?
Yeah, I was thinking, what?
But then I go, I'm doing it.
That's true.
And
I do watch TV over there, but not a lot of YouTube. I have, but not a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, and even LinkedIn video. And people are casting these to their television sets now. I should say television monitors. They're monitors, the big monitors. All right.
Which means that video that you shot on your phone in your car is now being displayed on a 55-inch screen in someone's living room.
And so every imperfection is showing up.
Right. Every single one. The shaky footage, the bad lighting, the muffled audio, it all gets magnified on that 55-inch screen.
And the kicker is the platforms know this is happening. They know that you're watching it on a bigger screen. They want to go to this and serve that type of stuff that's going to keep people watching.
So that they know people are watching these big screens, and the algorithm is adjusting to serve up big screen happiness.
Right. So YouTube has explicitly said they're prioritizing higher resolution content in their recommendations. This makes sense when you realize they've become the #1 content platform on TVs in the United States. They're surpassing all other streaming services like Netflix, Hulu in total watch time, with viewers consuming over 1 billion hours daily on their TVs on the platform's TV app. TikTok and Instagram are also aware of this, and they're making moves to get some of these eyeballs. I will say Instagram has already created their own TV app, and there's rumors that TikTok, who had abandoned their TV app, is now looking at doing a TV app.
So these smart TVs are feeding up data for the Nielsen ratings, and Nielsen consistently shows that YouTube is leading in TV viewership shares, often holding 10% of total TV usage. They want people to stay on these platforms.
Right.
And content that looks and sounds good and these big screens keep people watching.
And I love the data. You know me and the data.
It's science.
And there's data for this. Is it Wistia? I think it's
Wistia.
Wistia analyzed over 500,000 videos. And they found that professional quality videos have 62% higher engagement than low quality ones.
Wow, 62%, that's really big. That's a big difference.
And Facebook reported that videos with better production quality get 35% more shares.
Right, and so because people want to share things that make them look good, they want credit for, I sent you that video, doesn't it look good?
Judge me on this. If I share your video that looks terrible, is that reflecting on me? People are thinking this.
So the algorithm isn't just for favoring high quality content because it's snobby. It's doing it because the content performs better on the big TVs.
It's got science.
Science.
It's got science behind it. So people watch longer, they engage more, they share it more.
Which means if you're putting out all of your content that looks like you shot it selfie style in your car during the lunch break, and you know who you are.
No judgment.
No judgment. The algorithm is burying it. Not because the message isn't good, funny, or important, but because the platform has decided your content isn't going to keep people watching that big screen. Right?
Right. So let's talk about what low quality video is actually costing you.
Because I think people underestimate what low quality costs you.
They do, and they think, well, I'm getting some views. People are watching, it's fine.
But fine isn't good enough for your business. Is it good enough for your business? Short answer is no. No, not anymore. Your voice, what you have to say, needs to be heard, and you need to be seen. Historically, minorities and underrepresented communities are held to different standards. We know we have to be better, try harder, and take risks. I'm here to tell you that you need to know it's actually okay to mix it up because not all of your content needs to be selfie style or high dollar production. Your video content needs to be created with true intention and consideration and be high quality.
And according to HubSpot, 62% of customers say they've lost interest in a brand after watching a poor quality video that brand put out.
Wow, that's more than half your audience writing you off because the video was perceived as low quality.
Right, and here's another one, little data, love the data.
Science.
Brightcove found that 73% of people say video quality impacts their perception of a brand.
So if your video lacks quality in some place in the picture or the sound or the edit, then people assume your business is low quality.
Even if it's not.
You could be running a multi-million-dollar operation, but if your video looks like it was made before 2015, that's what people remember.
I'm going to say that the videos I was talking about at the beginning of this episode that were so frustrating to me and I wanted to watch, 100%, they're from a multi-million-dollar company. I know the company. They're multi-million-dollar.
And this frustration, while interacting with the low-quality content, affects everything downstream for your business. Conversion rates to become customers, credibility of quality to be delivered by your product or service, whether people take you seriously as a business. Let me just add here that many times Velasquez Media have been hired to do Spanish versions of different videos. These videos are high dollar, high quality productions. What happens is these folks come to us and will tack on a Spanish version. Here's where your audience will absolutely see that message of quality reflected on service quality. I will absolutely defend the Spanish version's quality because the underrepresented communities are already given scraps. If the video is low quality and not thought out, then I will pass on the project.
And the video quality supersedes the content message. So you're putting something out, it's not high quality. It gets recognized as not high quality. We just talked about brands and people going, I'm going to judge your brand based on the quality of this. It's like, okay, if you don't care about me or you're not doing a high quality, I'm not going to trust you as a service.
Right. And so, it impacts the perception of low quality because the picture, light, sound, or even the presentation of a different language isn't there. And, I put that into the editing portion of this.
Yeah. There's watch time. YouTube's data shows that viewers drop off 60% faster on low quality videos.
Which means even if people click to watch the video, they bouncing. They're not sticking around.
And the algorithm sees that. It sees people clicking away and it stops showing your content.
That's right. So you're not just losing that one watcher, that one viewer. You're actually losing future viewers because the platform decided your content isn't worth promoting. It got put in the low quality camp.
So all around, you just squashed your ability to have more eyeballs on your brand.
That's true.
So, okay, I know you like this. So now we're going to do some myth busting.
Ooh, my favorite.
All right, myth number 1. People only care about content, not quality.
Falso. No es la verdad.
No,
That's not the truth. Not true. False.
why?
Well, people care about both, right? They want great content without terrible quality. So if it has bad quality, you're not going to get watched. And high quality content with nothing to say just doesn't keep people around.
Ready to move to myth number 2. Well, we will say you need high quality, you need good content, especially now because quality is a barrier to entry now. The past is the past. It's a new world.
Yeah, right. But your quality is, if it's below a certain threshold, people won't even give you your content a chance.
All right.
So now we can move.
Now we move to myth number 2. My phone is good enough.
Okay, this one's tricky.
Mm-hmm. It is. Because technically, yes, modern phones can shoot great video. We've seen documentaries, we've seen films.
Right, but the phone is just the camera. What about the audio? What about the lighting? What about the stabilization? What about it?
Right. A phone can work, but only if you're investing in time and attention to make sure that phone does what you want it to, proximity of microphone. You can also invest in a good microphone. You can have proper lighting and a way to keep that phone steady.
Yes, and most people aren't doing the minimum.
No, they're just holding their phones and hoping for the best. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not helping you to gain a new audience.
Right. Which brings us to myth number 3. Like the owl says. That's how many bites it takes to the,
I don't think
to
it's
the
3,
middle.
but maybe.
1, 2, 3.
Anyway.
Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3. You're in the
Okay.
middle of the pop. Anyway,
Trivia.
so number 3. I can fix it in post.
And this is a pet peeve of mine
And
because you
mine.
hear it on set
Oh, you do.
all the time.
You cannot fix bad footage in editing. You just can't.
If your audio is garbage, there's only so much you can do to clean it up. If your lighting is terrible, color correction is not going to save you.
No, editing can enhance good footage. It cannot resurrect bad footage.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
Editing cannot resurrect bad footage. I'm going to tell you, it is not a time machine.
And there are many occasions I've been on sets which they time machines could have sold over and over again. So myth number 4, professional video is too expensive.
This one depends on what you're comparing it to.
So is professional video more expensive than doing it yourself? Yes, but what's the cost of putting out low quality content that nobody watches, and what's the cost of your time?
Right. If you spend $500 on a DIY setup and create videos that get buried by the algorithm, you're wasting $500 and the time for figuring out what the equipment was, setting it up, doing a couple of takes because the first 3 were terrible.
Because YouTube University is great.
It is.
Versus investing in professional production that actually gets seen, builds your credibility, and converts viewers into clients.
It's not an expense, it's an investment. And no, it's not even that. It's a must-have for your business.
And you can start small. You don't have to produce a whole series on one day.
No, well-produced video that you repurpose across platforms is better than 10 mediocre ones that no one finishes watching.
Okay, so we've gone on through all of this. So what do you actually do with all of this information?
Let's break it down by where we are right now.
If you're currently DIYing and your content is not performing,
then start with audio. Get a decent microphone or change the proximity of the sound to the microphone. This is the single biggest upgrade you can make that'll improve to good quality video.
A good mic. Love me a good mic. A good mic has changed my life on so many occasions.
It can cost you less than $300. It can cost you way more, but
it can cost you way more than $300. But you can get a good mic for under $300. So next would be lighting. You don't need a whole setup. You can get one key light and learn how to position it.
Natural light from a window works too. Just make sure you're facing the light and then it's not behind you making backlight.
Yeah, that's a big one. And please use a tripod. Shaky footage gives your viewer motion sickness. Love your viewer. Help your viewer. Don't make your viewer sick.
No, you're not making Blair Witch. If you're at the point where you're creating content regularly, but still not getting traction,
it might be time to bring in a professional, at least for key pieces.
Think about what content matters most. Your flagship video, your course promo, your main service explainer, or your benefits being explained to new hires.
Give these your time and energy even before recording them. Plan. Invest in getting them done right, and then you can DIY smaller stuff.
And if you're ready to go all in,
batch your content. Book a studio day, record multiple pieces at once, and give yourself a content bank.
This is what our clients do. They'll come in, record a whole season of podcast episodes or a series of training videos, and then they're set for months.
And then that's more cost effective, and the quality is consistent across everything.
The key is being strategic. Don't just create content for content's sake.
Create content that's worth watching, and make sure it looks and sounds like it's worth watching.
So here's the bottom line. Quality matters because platforms are rewarding it, audiences are expecting it, and your message deserves to be heard clearly on those big screen TVs. We know that getting in front of new eyeballs is harder for people that look like us, minorities, women, LGBTQ. We want you to succeed and are sharing what we know so your message can carry you in front of new people that can benefit from your product or service.
And if you've been putting off upgrading your production because it feels overwhelming or expensive, again, start small. There are other voices out there shouting over yours, and your folks need to see and hear you. Help them, get to them. People now more than ever need to hear your voice.
Right, so fix your audio first. Get a light, use a tripod, plan your message before hitting record.
And if you're ready to stop guessing and just get it done right, that's literally what we do.
Our studio in Durham, North Carolina is open, and we want mission-driven organizations creating content that actually performs. We have a safe space so you don't have to code switch or explain why someone can't touch your hair, or you are ready to come in and just be seen in a safe space at all. We're here. We're your partner in moving beyond DIY quality and to put your business and planning for video first.
Because you didn't build your business to have it buried by the algorithm.
Exactly.
All right, that's it for this episode. See you next time.
That's it for this episode of Change the Reel.
If you enjoyed it, do us a favor. Share the episode or leave a review wherever you listen. It actually helps more people find us.
Connect with us or any of our guests on LinkedIn. Check the show notes for links.
And if you're done with DIY and ready to record something that matters in a safe, inclusive space, check out our studio at VelasquezMedia.com.
Remember,
Representation starts here.
Hasta pronto.
See you soon.